What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video we have the 2024 Ford Mustang Darkhorse, the 2024 Nissan Z Nismo, and the newest Toyota Supra. Now we're going to do a triple comparison between these three sports cars. The Supra is the OG. It's been around for, we're into the 5th model year now, and it used to be expensive, people didn't like it, but now it's kind of a benchmark sports car and honestly a bang for the buck.
It's almost the cheapest of the three.
It is the cheapest
of the three, yeah.
When we look at pricing, the Darkhorse Mustang starts about 60 grand. This one, as tested, is like $73,000. So it definitely has a big spectrum. The Nismo Z starts around 65 grand. This one is 68,000. The MK5 Toyota Supra, you can get it for 55 grand up to about 60. So pretty big price differences. The Supra is the cheap car of the three, as tested at least, so kind of crazy to see that. Underneath the hood though, what do we got?
We'll start off with the Darkhorse. This has a naturally aspirated 5-liter Gen 4 V8. Pumps out 500 horsepower, 418 pound-feet of torque. Slight increase over a normal GT. This is paired to a 10-speed automatic or the 6-speed manual transmission. For the Nissan, we have the 3-liter twin-turbo V6. This pumps out 420 horsepower, 384 pound-feet of torque. Now with this, you only get the 9-speed automatic. So of the three, you cannot get 3 pedals for the Nismo. For the Supra, this has the 3-liter inline 6-cylinder turbo engine. It pumps out 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. This has an 8-speed automatic or the 6-speed manual transmission. So if you are a 3 pedals type of person, you can automatically eliminate the Nismo.
Moving on to exterior styling, completely subjective. These are all very different looking cars. For a Mustang, the Mustang Darkhorse looks awesome. It's super beefy, incredibly aggressive. The Nismo Z, huge step up from the standard one, nice and sporty design. And then the Supra, clean as can be with very nice curves. So for each platform being significantly different, all different countries of origin as well, they all look gorgeous for what they are. Supra's interior, of course, you're going to have a nice BMW interior, very refined in here, comfortable sport bucket seats with power controls, really nice fit and finish, good materials. You have carbon fiber on it, good technology as well. So you're going to get a nice premium interior in the Toyota Supra. Nismo Z, a little old. It feels like a 370Z in here, which is about 15 years old. However, you have a really sporty set of Recaro bucket seats, massive bolsters, Alcantara steering wheel, nice enough gauge cluster with a really cool screen. A little on the cheap side for the interior, but it is incredibly sporty. And those bucket seats are a huge, huge plus. You even got those old school gauges up on the dashboard. Now the Mustang, not all too different from previous gen. However, the S650 has the all new dashboard. Now there are fake pieces of plastic carbon fiber, which is a little downside, but you see all the nice blue stitching. This one does have the awesome looking blue Recaro seats. Manual controls, huge bolsters, ultra comfortable as well. Got the electronic parking brake with that cool handle, massive screen, nice steering wheel. Really cool tech in here as well. It is pretty refined, a little bit of cheap stuff in here, but it is a ultra comfortable as well as roomy car with those back seats. So interior, exterior, super subjective, just depends on which car works for you as far as practicality, fit and finish, and just which design works for you. Setting off now in the Toyota Supra. This is kind of the benchmark of the three, given I own this car, I've had it for a year, I've had my other Supra for 2 years, and this is the old car now, which is crazy. The new Supra is now the old car.
The OG.
Yeah. So MK5 Supra came out 2020 model year. We're already into 2024 model year. This car, performance-wise, is so much for the money, especially nowadays. When this car came out, people hated it, but the more and more people bought it, pretty much everybody agrees, aside from the haters who love to call it a BMW, this is one of the best cars for the money all day long. In comfort mode, normal mode, it's comfortable and refined. It's a luxurious car. It's nice to be in. And then if I tap the sport icon, the steering tightens, the suspension tightens, the exhaust gets louder, the tuning gets louder, adds more drama, and it changes the whole driving experience to where it's now much more hardcore, so pinpointy, it handles on rails. The 6-speed is a joy to go through the gears. So this isn't just a BMW transmission. Toyota completely redid BMW 6-speed, and it is a blast. It's so notchy, it's perfect. The ZF 8-speed available is the best automatic you can get aside from a dual clutch. There are no shortcomings. As a sports car, the turns, It's so fun. The engine's underrated. This dyno's at 400 to the wheels, 3.8 second with the automatic, just over 4 with the manual. As a sports car, can it get much better for under $60,000?
Yeah, I would say I don't have a lot of experience with a Supra like Brian, but for the money, I can definitely agree with that as far as what you were getting for this.
Mm-hmm.
You're also getting, I would say, of the 3 cars, and you'll see us drive the other 2 in a second, of the 3, this one does feel the most refined. For the haters who, call it the BMW Supra, the BMW part actually gives it a nicer interior.
It makes it this good.
Yeah, it makes it better for those aspects. It's a Toyota BMW, it's reliable too, but for the interior it's much more refined. This is the only sports car of the 3 that actually has power operated seats.
For these specs, of course.
For these specs, yes. But the rest of the interior, we have the upgraded audio, carbon fiber, real carbon fiber.
Not plastic.
Not plastic. And it does give you that BMW vibe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not a bad thing, because if you want a well-refined sports car, especially for this price, that's what you're going to get with a Supra. So it's not just, I don't know, like my 86. That's not a different price point, of course, but it gives you that almost luxury vibe.
There's nothing
for how sporty
cheap.
It is.
Like, it doesn't feel cheap in here. It feels every bit the price. My car was 59 grand. 2024 model year is a little bit more expensive, but nonetheless, even a base 3.0 Supra is like 55, 56. So you can get all this car for less than 60 grand, brand spanking new. It handles so well. It's fast, it's fun, and like Mike said, it's refined. Like, we're in sport mode, we tone it down, go back to 6th gear.
Just like a normal daily.
So comfortable. The BMW M2, of course, would be the greatest 4th car to compare to these 3, because that's probably the best out of all 3. Like, that's kind of everything in one.
Yeah.
But this gives you luxury BMW and true on sports car. Hard to argue with.
Into the Mustang now. This is definitely a fun muscle car to drive. And I would say it's well refined like the Supra too. It's it's not bad. It's more expensive than the Supra, obviously, but we do have a little bit of BMW incorporated into this as well with the curved screen. So for those hater BMWs, I think everyone's kind of taking the lead.
They're like the best company, I guess.
Yeah. Not to say it's bad, but I like this over the previous generation Mustang.
Oh yeah.
I think it's much easier to use. But driving the Mustang, we just took this on a mountain trip, and I gotta say, I'm very impressed with this, because you see a lot of Mustangs that are better in straight lines, not really performance style cars in a sense.
This takes these turns.
This takes turns very well. We got some grippy Pirelli Trofeo tires on this, so we have the grip to keep us going in a straight line. But the shifts in this are super quick with the 10-speed auto. You can get the 6-speed manual, which has also been refined for the 24-year models as well. And I have been able to drive a GT, so the lower trim level, with the manual. And it's definitely just as fun too.
But it feels like a nice, solid car. It's not just a cheap plastic Ford.
Yeah.
While there are fake leathers, fake stitching, fake carbon fiber, which, come on, Ford, let's give you real carbon in this kind of car for the price point. These Recaros, while they're manual adjusting, they are incredibly comfortable and supportive with this huge bolsters on them.
I will say one thing with the bolsters, though, they're almost too big, where if you're at 9 and 3 on some back turns, I had to move my elbow turning right.
Yeah, I can see that. Just
because I don't know, this one's a little bit bigger, but they hold you well, so you can go around turns well.
Yeah. It's a big step up from the S550. I think the interior refinement is the biggest change, and then especially being a Darkhorse with every option, like, the handling is good. Like, it's not just good for a Mustang. It's a fun to drive mountain sports car. And we're not the biggest muscle car fans. We've taken a basic EcoBoost on the tail of Dragon, which was awful.
Yeah.
We had that back to back with Miatas, the Supras, and nothing. But this is a serious car. Into the Nismo. Instantly, you hop in this car. These are much stiffer bucket seats. It feels more like a go-kart.
It's a much stiffer car in general, yeah.
Very rigid. When you compare this to the Performance Z, night and day difference. But this car is like a go-kart. It's tight. It's old school. I love the Alcantara on the steering wheel. It just feels like that fun little JDM car. Well, it weighs in around 3,700 pounds, so it's in the middle of the other two cars. You don't feel any of the weight. Steering is very direct, and this 9-speed, while there's no 3 pedals, which is a bummer, a Nismo tuned manual would have been a blast in this car.
For sure.
But the tuning in Sport Plus mode gives you a responsive paddle shifting transmission to where I don't have complaints. It's got sticky Dunlops, plenty of power, really good handling. As far as a sports car goes, I have no complaints from a driver's perspective.
As far as kind of the refinements go and what this car has to offer, it is, I'd say, in third place of the 3. The interior still has some outdated technology. We have the newer screen that Nissan has been using, but it still doesn't offer you a ton. There's no drive modes, there's no, like the gauge cluster will change, right?
The gauge cluster is great. In the sport mode, it looks like this, and then you can make it just normal Nissan.
But the infotainment system doesn't do anything like the Mustang does. What's the Supra have?
Supra gives you the sport displays, which is nice.
So it is the oldest of the 3, and there could be advantages and disadvantages to that. If you just want to hop in your car, have a nice car to drive, like what Brian's just gone over, and you don't want to mess with any of that, this is a good car for just getting in and going for a drive. But if you want some more of that tech, some more of the different driving modes, comfortability with the suspension settings, then you'd go with something else, of course.
For the price?
For the price, I could see it.
It should have them. However, this is a car, it's in sport mode every time you drive it. When you drive it in automatic normal mode, the transmission's more relaxed, but then when you put it into Sport Plus manual, it wakes it up, it gives you that extra fun factor. But yeah, from a driver's perspective, it's fun. It gives you everything you want. And then just from the normal side, it's least practical like the Supra, no back seat, small trunk. And just the refinement level, it's a 370Z, which is a 2009 car. Yeah. So it has old refinements, some old stuff. And yeah, even Nissan's new screen here, it's kind of old. All right, so after driving back-to-back the newest Supra, the Nismo Z, the Darkhorse Mustang, let's go down the line, our most favorite thing and our least favorite thing. So Nismo Z, you go first. What's your favorite thing about this car?
I would say the driving of it.
What about it?
It's just so nimble feeling, like light on its toes. It really handles well for the car. For its weight, I think just how it drives is what I like the most.
So it's a car you can get in, just go?
Just go, yep.
I would say I agree with that as my favorite thing. This is a car, I want to drive this on the track and in the mountains day after day. I don't want to get out.
Yeah.
So this car, it's all about just driver car.
Yeah.
For sure. Aside from manual would be nice.
The manual would be awesome, yeah.
Least favorite for me is the pricing. I would like to buy this car. I honestly would like to, and that's coming from a Supra owner. I've owned 2 of them. I would not say no to owning this car. Just if I'm spending 68 grand, I'm gonna order an M2.
Yeah,
I just am.
For me, probably the tech in it and the availability of or lack of options. I'm not a huge tech person, but I do like having some configurabilities here and there and
like
driving
the suspension and stuff.
Yeah, things like that.
This is gonna be hard for me because I own it. Things I like the most, or the thing I like the most, I'd say is the package. It's a refined JDM car with a gorgeous manual. It's so much fun to row through the gears. So maybe the manual is my answer to that.
Yeah.
One of the absolute best manuals, borderline on par with a Porsche. The manual is fantastic, and given it's well-rounded, it's just such a sweet spot, I would say.
This is kind of hard for me since that is your car. I don't have much experience in it, so like I don't have a hate and love video for it. The most fun thing or the best thing I like about this car, I don't know, I guess would be the manual. Just the way that it feels too when you sit in it.
Yeah.
Like you can tell right off the bat with the Nismo how much lower the roofline is, but it doesn't feel like it's claustrophobic.
So it's like hunkered down.
It's hunkered down without being like, oh, I can't see anything. So like, I don't know, it's almost like I like how this, I don't know, I like how it sits, like, and the manual feel for sure.
As far as
but I don't drive it.
Yeah.
Ever, so.
As far as least favorite, I don't know. It's kind of hard because there's a lot of little things I don't like the trunk button and some stupid things like that.
Yeah.
As far as a driver's car, I don't know. Maybe just I wouldn't mind the next step up in aggressiveness. There's a lot of character, a lot of fun, but the bucket seats in the Nismo, I want in this car so bad. I love bucket seats so much. I don't care about the power adjustments. So These are great bucket seats as well. They're refined and comfortable and still good for sporty, but I wish they made the Supra TRD. Like, I do want that next step up Supra, I will say.
I guess my only hate with it, I'll just follow on the hater train. It's a BMW.
As a BMW owner sells me that.
Yeah.
The fact that this handles so well for what it is it's fun. It's very fun to drive. So maybe it's a fun factor.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
I think for me, probably my most favorite thing about this car over the last couple days, I don't know, I kind of like that NA V8. Like, it's only one of these two that is not
turbos.
Supercharged or turboed. So if you want that NA power, that V8 engine noise, my R8 has a V8.
Yeah,
so
I've
been an NA engine owner for a long time. I don't think I've ever owned a turbo. So
I've only pretty much ever owned turbos.
Yeah, so
wow.
I don't know, I like that aspect to it. I mean, obviously you could supercharge it or something, but it's a big car, especially when you compare it to these two.
And I guess for me, I used to own the R35 GTR, which is the same size, same platform.
Yeah.
For me, if I'm getting this size, I'm going to get a GTR or an M4, just because I think they make so much more power and they have all-wheel drive to truly put the power down, and you can have another 300 horsepower and actually hook up.
Yeah.
So it's just not my taste, but I think it's an amazing car.
It's been a fun car to have for a week.
With all that said, these are all significantly different cars. It really just comes down to which one you like better. I don't think there's a clear winner.
Yeah.
I think the Supra, well, actually,
I'd probably pick the Supra of the three, to be honest.
I'm torn.
If the Nismo had a manual, though.
I'm torn.
Yeah.
I think the Mustang might almost be the best value, given you can get a nice GT for Supra money.
True.
It's more practical. It does have a lot of good things.
You have so many options to
so
go with.
Not a real conclusion, but they're all very interesting in their own ways, and they all have a lot to offer. If you guys enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, comment below what do you think is the best of these three cars. We'll see you guys in the next video.